everybody, and welcome to the Adventurous Joe Show. I'm your host, Joseph Michaels, with today's reviews. Well, I'm going to be reviewing 3 video games: Aliens, Colonial Marines, Bioshock Infinite, and The Amazing Spider-Man. Also, our comic book review of Star Wars Errant-escape. And we'll talk a little about Transformers 4, and a new little segment I like to call Women of the Internet. Some of them you might know, some you might not. Who knows? Big ticket to fandom. Big internet, big world, big universe. I give up. I got nothing after that. Welcome to the Adventurous Joe Show. And let's get started. First off, it's our review of Aliens, Colonial Marines. Now, I gave this a 4 out of 10 for bad gameplay and horrible glitches. I meant terrible glitches. So terrible that one of the alien characters was literally clawing at a blank wall. Really? Clawing at a blank wall. Terrible game. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Terrible gameplay, terrible glitches. Not too bad on the storyline. I mean, some of the gameplay, good enough. But if it takes more than a whole clip of bullets to kill one of these aliens or even the Weyland-Yutani soldiers, not for you, not for me. 4 out of 10. Pick it up if you want. If not, enjoy the review. Next up, Bioshock Infinite. Now this was worth it. I gave this an 8 out of 10 for 2 reasons. Racism, the bad racism in it, and the bad ending. Yeah, Bioshock 1 and 2, they had some incredible endings. I mean, some that made you just sit on the edge of your seat like, holy crap, I can't believe I went through that just to see this. This one, terrible. Absolutely terrible. Graphic design, beautiful. The racism, could have did without the racism. Storyline, a bit cheesy, well played, but at the same time, pretty good. Now, the bad ending is because your main character, if you haven't played the game, I won't spoil it for you, so if you haven't played it, skip this review part right now. But, if you have played it, then you know what I'm talking about, the bad ending. Finding out the main character you've been playing is really the villain as well. What? This made me want to shoot something. Seriously. Anyways, 8 out of 10, mostly for the racism and mostly because of the bad ending. Moving on. Next, it's The Amazing Spider-Man. Now, this video game tie-in to the movie itself was an incredible find. Not only does it take place after the first movie, but it also fills you in on a little more about what the second movie might more be about. You get to fight villains like the Scorpion and the Lizard again, apparently, when Kirk Connors loses control and stuff. But here's the real kicker to all this. In other Spider-Man games, you always had to earn spider points to upgrade or unlock costumes, new costumes and stuff like that. This one, you only got to collect comic book pages and get into some battles that help save innocent lives and stuff. But at the same time, unbelievable gameplay. Graphics, unbelievable. Not one glitch problem. And on top of that, the storyline was good. I meant really good. It helped fill in the blanks between what happened at the end of the first film to compare to what's going to happen in the second film. You also have an incredible chance to play other things on here with certain multiplayer challenge games. Like there's a Rhino one, there's one for the Lizard. They're mostly downloadable content, but still worth it. I gave it an 8 out of 8 out of 10. I'm thinking Bioshock again here. I gave this a 10 out of 10. I loved it. Didn't have any problems with it. Incredible game to play. I recommend picking it up. It should be half price by now somewhere. Mine I got from GameFly for only $10. Well worth it. Enough said, moving on. Okay, up next, comic time. Here's our comic book review of Star Wars Errant-escape. Now, in the Knight Errant series is actually a novel series that came out first before any of the comic book series part came out. It's a great story about a young woman who's become this Jedi, who's also ended up in this one turned into the dark side. She wanted to find out the truth about what happened to her parents, why they were killed, so on and so forth, and so she chose to turn to the dark side to find out all these things. Well, it turns out in the end, she finds the one that killed her parents and finds out why they were killed. But at the same time, look at this stuff. Look at this. Incredibly well done. The artwork is beautiful. Cover, not too shabby. But at the same time, well worth it. I recommend picking it up. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Mostly because the storyline's a little confusing if you have not read the novels. But at the same time, well worth it. Now said, moving on. Okay, now, movie review time. I saw Iron Man 3, and I could not believe two things. One, the Mandarin. Ben Kingsley was the wrong choice for the Mandarin. I've said this 100 times, and I'll say it again. Marvel and Disney don't mix. Now, here is the kicker to all this. Iron Man 3 was that damn good. But at the same time, it was mostly focused towards the Christmas scene and other stuff that was related to terrorism. Now, they brought in the extremist factor, but at the same time, Iron Man ended up destroying all of his suits. I mean, all of them! He didn't have one suit remaining. He destroyed all of them. And he said that was his Christmas gift to Pepper. Seriously? You blew up all your suits for one woman? I would have at least kept one or two in case you needed them. Now, the point of Iron Man doing this, Tony Stark, excuse me, is because after the Avengers happened, he kind of started losing his mind. Decided to build more and more suits to protect only one thing in his life that meant something to him. And that was Pepper. Pepper Potts. Now, she meant a lot to him. Not only as his lifelong friend, secretary, but as his love interest as well now. And there's a lot going on with this story that nobody's focusing on. They're mostly focusing on the bad stuff. Me, I focused more on what was happening to the story. I gave it this an 8 out of 10, mostly because it should have been put out at Christmas time. It's focused around Christmas. You should have released it at Christmas time, not in the beginning of May. And the Mandarin. Being an actor playing the Mandarin, being an actor as Ben Kingsley is, and then playing an actor and being the Mandarin, who's chosen to be the Mandarin? No way. Enough said, moving on. Okay. Now, Transformers 4 is coming out next year, according to Michael Bay's people and Michael Bay himself. But here's the kick. Michael Bay said after Transformers Dark of the Moon, he wasn't doing any more Transformers. He was done with Transformers. So how the hell did they sign him up for 3 more movies? 4, 5, and 6. Go figure, folks. Nobody knows. Michael Bay said he was done after the 3rd Transformers film, and now he's back to do a 4th one. But here's the kicker. He's kept everything incredibly top secret at this moment. No idea what the storyline's about. No idea if there's going to be Autobots versus Decepticons, or Autobots versus humans, or a mixture of the 3 again. Nobody knows. There's only 2 people so far that of big names that have been announced to be in the film. Mark Wahlberg and Stanley Tucci. What the hell? Michael Bay is keeping this one under wraps, apparently, so nobody screws up anything or says anything wrong. Now, the big question is it going to be focused more on the robots Or is it going to be focused more on humans again? No one knows. Oh, one other star I left out is Kelsey Grammer. He supposedly got shows for the role of the main human villain. What? We're going to have a main human villain? Like Patrick Dempsey played in the third film? Somebody shoot me. This is the point when Daffy Duck is like locked in the room watching those bad films the Tiny Toons made, and he says, shoot me now! Anyways, that's all I got on Transformers 4 for now. Now, a new little segment I like to call Women of the Internet. First off, I'm going to introduce you to a woman who's pretty well known at this point. She has her own show on YouTube, she has her own show on Twitch.tv, and she's pretty much on Facebook and around the glamour model scene as well. Her name, Tara Babcock, and this is one beautiful Fraulein, and I mean beautiful. She not only is smart, intelligent, got the body for being a model, but at the same time, she is incredibly brilliant. She loves StarCraft 2 with a passion. She loves playing it like crazy. In fact, she's crazy about all video games. You can check out more of her at tarababcock.com. That's actually her official website. But I think there's a membership fee you have to pay in order to view videos or photos of her and stuff like that. But she is not just a glamour model. She is an intelligent and beautiful woman who is an uber nerd. I mean uber video game nerd. She loves video games of any kind, including Pokemon. She loves Pokemon games. Her favorite superhero is Captain America. She's 23. Her birthday is on November 10th. And on top of that, she's incredibly gorgeous. I mean, my God, she gets the Joseph Michael seal of approval. Seriously. And it's not just because, you know, I talk to her every once in a while and stuff like that, or, you know, wish her to have a great day and stuff like that on Twitter. But you should get to know her more. She's very brilliant. Oh, and she also has her own shows on YouTube. On Tuesdays, she does Terra Talks, and on Thursdays, she does StarCraft Tips, which helps you understand more about the game and how she plays it. And some people don't like that, but at the same time, there's critics out there that you're going to have to ignore, and there's critics out there that you're just going to have to tell them, just wait till you get in my realm and I'll deal with you. Anyways, Tara Babcock, you get the Joseph Michael seal of approval and the awesomeness of the Adventurous Joe Show seal approval as well. I recommend checking out all of her stuff. Get to know her. She's one incredibly smart and intelligent woman, and as long as you look past the glamour model stuff like that, you'll see what I'm talking about. So, that's it for this episode of the Adventurous Joe Show. Thank you all for tuning in. And don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe to the under the video. Make suggestions. I'm always looking to improve on everything I'm doing for this show. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at KingOtlis1977. On Facebook, I'm there too. And also, you can find me on Twitch.tv. Whew, this is a lot to say in one breath. Anyways, thank you all for your time. And a quick review on things that we did today. Okay, video game reviews. Aliens-Colonial Marines got 4 out of 10. Bad glitches, terrible gameplay. Bioshock Infinite got an 8 out of 10 for the racism and bad ending. And last but not least, 10 out of 10 for The Amazing Spider-Man, the video game. Awesome gameplay, incredible storyline. I recommend getting it no matter what you do. Last review we did on the movie Iron Man 3. 8 out of 10. Mostly because of it should have been put out in December and not the beginning of May, and since the movie is focused all around Christmas time. And the Mandarin. Ben Kingsley was the wrong choice for the Mandarin. I will say it more than once, and I don't care who's listening. Whew. Now, moving on. And last but not least, our comic review of Star Wars Knight Errant-escape. I gave it 8 out of 10.